Okay. Can you guys hear me in the back okay? Okay. You guys hear me in the front okay? Okay. Jimmy, we're going to see what the mic does here. Jimmy promised the first 3 minutes a powerful mind bender, and I want to see if it's possible. Volunteer to read a text I just got, and if you look at it, let me see. Can you read? Okay. What time was it? What time was it sent?
1:49 p.m.
Right there.
10:49 a.m.
10:49. So this is about 15 minutes. The date.
July 11th.
And what does it say?
Thanks for getting my butt to camp.
Say it again.
Thanks for getting my butt to camp.
Okay. This is a teenage kid who I sponsored to a summer camp. And when I was broke, my goal was someday, when I'm like retired and have retirement money, to be able to sponsor some kids to a camp that influenced me when I was a kid. Okay? So I've sponsored over 50 kids at that camp. Okay? Now, okay. Now, I'm going somewhere with this for you, so this is a little bravado for me, but it has a point for you. What is this picture of? Do you see that?
Okay.
That's a trophy.
Oh, yeah, trophy.
Okay, this is a picture of a trophy that's about 5 feet tall. Okay? 5 feet tall. This was sent to me from a kid who's a street kid. His mom is a wild alcoholic. Dad ditched him when he was, he doesn't even know his dad. And he has a thing for BMX, but no money. And I know him. And I said, let's get you a bike and let's get you racing. So I bought him this really cool Redline bike. I don't know, some of you guys know what I'm talking about. And that was the first text he sent me after his first race, which he won, first place. Okay, now, here's my point. And follow this very closely. Until you get a vision bigger than getting out of debt, bigger than paying off the mortgage, bigger than retiring well, until you get a vision that is so big that so many people are going to be impacted by what you do, you will never get past your own issues. Ever. Ever. When I got started, I qualified for food stamps. I never took them, and if you're on food stamps, don't worry about it, but I never took them because I believed that would have destroyed me. Here's my point, though. One of the first things you should write down when it's crying your why and all these cheesy things is whose life is going to be infinitely better because I succeed. I got another text on here that I'm not going to be able to find, but it was a teammate. Adam Holland, are you in here? Adam Holland, right there. I was just getting ready. Yeah, the whole industry, I predicted about 6 months ago on a webinar that the entire industry would know Adam Holland's name, and it's getting there. It's close. We're at the threshold. Until you change your downline's lives, their income, their pocketbook, you will never make money. You have to. The highest paid skill is not necessarily you mastering Google AdWords, you mastering capture pages. It's you training people to do that. The only way you can train people to do that effectively is to master it yourself. Right? Back to Adam Holland. Right before I got on stage to speak at another event, I got a text from Adam. He wasn't able to make it, but he sent me a picture of his newborn son that he just had. I think it was like that weekend. And he sent me the picture and he said, "Thanks, Mark." And I don't remember the exact words, but it was a picture of the baby. He said, "Thanks, Mark. Because of you, I'm never going to miss a T-ball game. I'm never going to miss anything." Do you think that wakes me up in the morning? Okay? Okay. Other texts I can't show you. Okay. Other pictures and things like that. Let me tell you one story. This is an important story. I've got a friend who's a good marketer, multiple six-figure marketer, never made a penny until he met me, okay? Never made a penny online. Met me as a multiple six-figure earner. His list is about 35 to 50,000, give or take, unsubscribes and this or that, the other thing. I have another friend who's a six-figure, not a multiple, but a six-figure earner whose list is 1,000. They came into the identical affiliate offer, JV'd, with me on an identical offer. They actually both swiped copy identically. 35,000 boy mailed his list 3 times. 1,000 girl mailed her list, I think, once. Now follow this, because this is a mind bender. I'm going to ask you to solve this riddle for me. 3 sales, 13 sales. 3 sales, 13 sales, 35,000 people. You guys get all horny about driving traffic, getting leads. Really? 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 Is it really getting leads? 1,000, I promise you this is true. 35,000, 1,000, 3, 13. How does that add up? What's the most important thing to get your open rate? What's the most important thing on your headline? I just heard it. Subject line. A lot of you think, and that's what I used to think, a lot of you think tactically that if your subject line is good, and you want to know a secret on subject lines? Write them as you would text a friend. The history of email was a colloquial, unacademic exchange of friend information, right? If you try to professionalize email, you lose its native tongue. So I text, you still up, ? You, the you wanna see this with a C, this? I break it down to a text, because what do you get from your friends? Do you get every letter capitalized? You know, when they're doing that? Discover how to? Is that how you communicate with a friend? See, here's the best part. This guy is a multiple six-figure earner, so I'm not Mr. $35,000 list. Mr. 35,000 list is not a joker. He's a master ad copier. How do you think he conned all those leads onto his ineffective list? Right? Sweet Georgia Pie over here, she's a friend, a mother, a scrapbooker. Some of you know who. I just gave that away for those of you that follow me. Okay? What was my point in this? Headline. He knows the headlines. So what is the most important thing? Now, some of you have been taught headline, or subject line on your email, and like zombies, you've absorbed it and believed it. The best thing you can do as a marketer is to pretend you got to disengage your ego. Now, this is going to get a little Oprah. You literally have to disengage your ego and set it on the head of somebody else, detach and say, what is this person feeling, thinking, what's going on? And ask yourself, how do I respond? Become so cognizant as a third party watching your own life. What moves me? What causes me to open emails? Anybody know Frank Kern? Frank Kern can send me an email that says, hey, guess what's getting opened? The most important thing in your email marketing is the sender name. Follow me? Some of you open Jonathan Budd's email, it's Crazy Hat Show, and you're opening it. It's the sender name. It's not the headline. The headline matters. My highest converting headline, you want to know what it is? Staying in the loop. Staying in the loop. That's my most powerful headline. Why? Because they know the sender, and it assumes there's a loop of energy, and no one wants to be outside of the loop. Okay. I'm going to take some questions in a little bit, but I have another story. Anybody been told they don't have, a prospect doesn't have the money or something? No? Okay. I want to bend your mind, and I want to kind of shock you right now, like shock therapy. Sometimes if you see something in your mind, you allow your mind to go to a place that's never gone, you'll never be the same. So can I literally take you there right now? Okay. How much money do you think I could get out of this room right now? Okay? I heard a couple 100,000, this and that and the other thing. I was with a group, my team. I did a little private thing in my suite. Okay, I'm going to teach you something about business that you maybe never thought about. I'm in this room, and well, let me ask you this. $10,000. Should we do it? $10,000. Could I get it from you? 10,000. Now, some of you would say that's too much. You just automatically say it's too much. Now, I was with Marshall in his, I believe it's a $350,000 Rolls-Royce Phantom 2 nights ago. Okay, we're talking, I've never been in a car quite like that. Now, if Marshall, and he's not here, but let's say that night, he's a very wealthy man, and let's say, Mark, you know what? You're going on stage, and I've made a lot of money. I actually want to give away my Phantom. And I'm going to let you decide who's going to get it. But, $10,000 just for me for earnest money, whatever. $10,000, they can have it though. $350,000 Rolls Royce. So we open up the gates, we drive the Rolls right down here. Now I ask you, can you generate for me $10,000? Can anyone in this room not generate for me $10,000, and I'd give you 2 days? Anybody, I don't care if you're 24 years old, I don't care if you're 21, I don't care if you're 18, I don't care if you're 65, broke, on welfare, can you generate for me $10,000 to get that car within 2 days? Don't ever tell me that your people don't have the money. Don't ever tell me that they don't have the money. You don't have the offer. You don't have the offer. This whole game, can you guys hear me in the back okay? Okay, this whole game is a barter system. You've got to quit thinking about money, and you've got to understand when Zog hit whatever with the Cave Club, it's been bartering ever since. Here's how this works. There's a scale. Imagine me a scale. There's a balance. There's your offer. There's money. Until the scale is so heavy on the offer that their money becomes light. The scale has to flip and the money falls to you. Most of you, and this is just something to work on, this isn't a judgment deal, because I never knew this. This is something you learn. This isn't something you're good at. You're not good at marketing, okay? Nobody's good. They're trained or they're untrained. Nobody's good on stage. They're trained or they're untrained. Has anyone heard me say yet? Ah? Has anybody heard me kind of back up when I'm talking because I'm nervous? This is training. You approach the crowd. When you want to go you go dead silent. It's a dramatic pause. It sinks in. See? You let a little bit of silence hit, and it shows confidence. Everything is training. Back to the offer. It's a balance. Right now, if you're not making money, it's not the economy. I'm having my best months almost consecutively. In 2006, when things were just sailing and everybody was happy, I lived in a trailer with my pregnant wife. She was barefoot, literally. Church people would buy us groceries. Church people would come and buy us groceries. One time, I've never told this story without crying. I feel like I can pull it off today. I was making about $38,000 in Maryland, which isn't any money. I'm at my office here. We have one car, and it is a Acura, 1987 Acura. We couldn't get it past state inspection, so we kept it registered in North Dakota. She's coming to pick me up from work with my kid in the back of this Acura. There's a busy highway here. She calls me on the cell phone. I'm right here waiting for her to pick me up, and she's hysterical. My wife's very calm, very mellow, very beautiful. She's hysterical. She says, "Mark, the car's dead. It died immediately. I couldn't get it off the road. She calls me. It's just about rush hour because traffic is zooming because it's the end of workday. The car was really bad. So it dies. It would die, and I couldn't fix it. I lived $150 a time on a maxed out $3,000 Visa. We'd pay $150 off. I'd put $7 in my gas tank at a time until the next 2 weeks, and this is how we lived, okay? $150. As soon as the check came, all the bills had to get paid. Some of you have been there, maybe. And without my parents, I would have never made it. But anyway, she calls me, and she's crying because the car's like this on the road. Cars are zipping by her, and we see every day, if you've driven Baltimore traffic, anybody? It's terrible. Okay? She calls me, she's crying. I'm right here with no vehicle, no money, nothing. Okay? I'm seeing literally my family wiped out in my mind. Right? I'm thinking, I don't have much time. I don't know. Just get out of the car is what I told her, right? Okay. No tears fallen, so I have not cried. Okay. So, today she drives an Escalade. Today I drive an Escalade. Today we give away cars to people. Your poverty isn't serving anybody, and it could actually be killing people. It could. I had a friend, because I believed in poverty. I actually believed there was a nobility to it. I believed something spiritual about it. I believed a lot of weird things. I had a friend's dad who around the same time, his dad, who believed in giving, and not accumulating, was very awkward about wealth. Very awkward about wealth. He got hit. Here's the intersection. He had a green light. Somebody didn't. They hit him, and his car blew up. He died not because of the accident. He died because the car blew up. Because old cars, some of you mechanics know what I'm talking about, they're just dangerous. And he blew up. He died from the flames. The crash blew up the car because the car was a piece of crap, and it blew up. Now they've fixed a lot of that, so cars don't quite blow up. You guys know, some of the guys, you know what I'm talking about? I don't know what that is, but somebody told me about it. If today he was alive and he saw me on the stage, and he actually saw me show the text that I sponsored all these kids to a Bible camp for all things, saw me with the trophies that I'm giving this, he'd still judge me right now because of all the money I have. Mysteries of the mind, Jim Rohn used to talk about. Mysteries of the mind. Isn't that something? You might think getting wealthy is going to cause everyone to fame you and praise you, and your parents are finally going to get it. Your negative wife is finally going to turn positive. Your negative relatives are finally going to this. You go to your high school reunion and you think that everyone's going to just be bowing down. You're actually going to, it's weird. I've actually faced more antagonism rich than I have poor. Interesting? So if you do it for people, meaning if you do it for the praise of man, if you do it for some sense of fame that you think you want, or if you do it because you think the Rolls Royce is going to make you happy, you're going to be sorely let down. Okay? You're just going to be sorely let down. You have to have a deep, transcendental, spiritual reason for your success. Agreed? Okay? So the question is, what if I told you it was morally irresponsible? What if I told you it was degenerating to society to buy cheap stuff? This is tricky. Ready? Ready? Somebody spends $350 on the Rolls Royce. Oh, come on, $350 on the Rolls Royce. You know, there's starving children in Haiti and, you know, blah, blah, puke, and they've never donated a dime. Anyway, you know the drill. Did anyone fly here commercially? What do you think popularized commercial travel? Rich executives saving time, people who were jerks about their little, I call them time bitches. They're going to get there fast. They popularized commercial travel, spread it out, and now it's affordable for all. Anybody happen to have air conditioning today? Where do you think air conditioners first arrived on the scene? The rich people. Anybody have a car with airbags? A car with air conditioning? Power locks? Did you know that a gas gauge was in a concept car back in the day? For the super rich, here's the future of cars. They're going to actually let you know how much gas is in the tank. Anybody have airbags? Where do you think those showed up in? Mercedes, Bentleys, Rolls. The style you're wearing right now was probably, depending on how fashionable you are, was probably popularized by the mega rich, disseminated, and now it's cheaper to be more fashionable. That's kind of a catch-22 because it's always changing. But this shirt is $500. I bring this up. Everybody who sees me speak, this is my speaking $500 cloak, okay? I wear the $500 shirt. Now, some of you say, $500 shirt? Bah! What are you doing? There's starving children in Haiti, right? And we sponsor missionaries to Haiti. Does that help? Do I get less guilt? When you get rich, you're going to have so much guilt on you. I was just asked for a $40,000 loan just yesterday. He sends me pictures of his kids playing. We have no solution. You have a lot of money. Okay, you get it, right? I just say I'm not in the banking business. Well, if he was really full of love, he'd give that money, wouldn't he? I was talking with a family member. There was a rich brother and a poor brother. The poor brother's kids, they weren't malnourished because they're in America, but they were malnourished. They were fed a lot, but they were malnourished. Okay? Rich brother, poor brother, mom with some money. When I die, she tells me, I want to leave my money to who? Who? Who does she tell me? Rich brother. Because I know because I know the poor brother's probably going to be better taken care of if the rich guy gets the money. You can't even help the poor. You throw money down at the poor, you're throwing money down a drain. Down a drain. Everybody's talking about how to eradicate poverty, blah, 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 right? Coerce it through theft of my money. Okay, I'm not going to go into this. But let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. If politics boils a heavy, if that kind of issue, I could get it. I've gone political one time when I spoke, and I noticed there's like a wild energy, and people are political. We are very political creatures. Some people think that we're sexual creatures. Darwinism would say we do all things out of a sex drive. Marx would say we do all things out of an economic drive. Some people would say we do all things politically motivated. Other people say we do all things to receive love. But we are all of these things. We're political creatures. We're sexual creatures. We're all these things, and you can't play one dominant over the other, although I believe at the end of the day, we are believing creatures. And what we believe is going to manifest. We're going to believe it deep in our gut, and our rational mind as a secondary slave is going to go in search to justify that belief. Some of you think, some people say we're rational beings. Oh, come on, take a look around. Really? Really? We're rational creatures? That's what we are? Well, it's wiser and more cultivated to say we have the ability to reason. Don't ever say humans are rational creatures. Think about it. Think about it. We're not. You see what I'm saying? It's a complex game. Did I have a story? Was I going somewhere with this? Do you want to hear about the offer and how to tip the scale and all that jazz? Okay. Because until you tip the scale on the offer and money becomes light, you're never going to make a sale. Some of you have your MLM and you haven't learned the term offer intensifier. You have an MLM, you haven't learned that your MLM is static. There's no deadline. It's going to be around next week. It's going to be around in 3 weeks. It's going to be around next month. Might not be around next year, knowing the nature of the game. But it's static. To be a monster sponster, you have to offer intensify. You have to figure out how to add a deadline. You have to figure out how to add a bonus. You have to figure out how to add a network. Because a lot of people, some would say we are social creatures. And this is different than political. This is different than sexual. You have to learn to tap into every one of those things. Every single trigger that is in a person. And most of you are defaulting to approach the trigger that you're innately built in. I have a friend, he's very logical, he's very rational. Guess how all his sales copy is? It's always logical. I'm like, bro, this just isn't going to go anywhere. It's going to go somewhere, but it's going to attract who? Just the logic people. Then I got a girlfriend, and she's all just soupy and emotional. Oh, my gosh. Guess what her copy is? Okay? Until you understand the nature of a human being, and there are hundreds of triggers, would anybody pay for a $175 pair of underwear? You'd probably say, if I give this, I'm developing right now a pair of underwear that is going to be $175. People are going to buy them. You might say, I don't think so, Mark. I don't think so. What if I told you that in the evolution of clothing to dress a person, underwear has yet to hit attention? Most guys, you're wearing Hanes potato sack underwear. Feels like a potato sack. Not a lot going on there. Okay, not a lot going on. And you haven't even thought about it. But what if I told you that, now follow this, okay, that's just a physical pleasure, not a sexual pleasure. That's just a physical pleasure issue. I said, what if you could feel Egyptian cotton? Anybody sleep in 600 thread sheets at night? No, I mean, who would ever sleep with the cheap sheets after that? There's no option. Your wealth is also going to follow your standards. Your wealth is going to follow your standards because you're literally going to have the standard that 600 thread count Egyptian cotton, that's it. It's not an option anymore. Follow it now. That's why everyone go buy a Robb Report, thumb through it and go, wow. And let yourself not judge it. Let yourself thumb through this. It's the richest stuff in the world. $30,000 pens. Now someone would say, $30,000 pen? Why? What is a pen of a cultivated individual? Cultivated. Your wealth is going to be in proportion to the substance of your character, the refinement of your character. You take a big watermelon, you take a little watermelon packet this big that's sliced and cubed and no seeds, you're going to pay $5 for this and $3 for the big watermelon. Well, that doesn't make sense. That's irrational. The big watermelon, you're getting 5-10 times the watermelon, aren't you? What's the difference? How come this can call forth double the money of that? Cultivation, refinement, perfection. I was in a hurry and I wanted watermelon. I wasn't going to buy the watermelon and start slashing it up in my car and dripping on me. I wanted refinement. The depth of your refinement is going to dictate your standards, and your prosperity is going to follow in the trail. It's not going to lead. It's going to follow. You have to be a millionaire probably 12 months before you're a millionaire. I mean, you have to be one because we are comfort creatures. Pain, pleasure. Some people simplify it and just say it's a pain-pleasure game. Just a pain-pleasure game. Well, it's partly true, but guess what? until you're comfortable. So what do? We move towards pleasure. We move away from pain. What if you're uncomfortable in the Rolls Royce? You're actually going to avoid the prosperity. You have to be comfortable in your mind walking, talking, thinking, living, breathing, taking the antagonism, building the foundations, giving the generosity, getting the heat from your negative relatives, being criticized, having false scam reports written against you online, having people hate you, not just think you're, whatever, hate you because you're rich. Hate. Follow it. Hate. You're also going to get to have people love you and cherish you and send you text messages saying you're the most important thing in the world and take pictures of you, and you're going to sign their books. And those are beautiful things too. But if those are the things you're after, if the people move you and you don't have enough self-possession to get past all of it, appreciate the compliments, appreciate the kind things, appreciate the sentiments. Have the negativity, look into it. Is there anything true in it? Is there stuff I can cultivate and refine in my character that'll have maybe attract less angst? Maybe there's something valuable there. But like a watermelon, take what's good, throw out the rind. Until you're able to take that in and achieve it, you're not going to go to rich. You have to be comfortable. You have to synthesize your mind to be comfortable with wealth, because we move into comfort. We move into comfort. We move into comfort. You have to get comfortable. When we bought the Escalade, I bought it on a loan, and I didn't pay cash for our first Escalade. And I live in a small town with 350 people, and I was given counsel by smart, wise people in the town, family, said, Mark, people don't drive Escalades out here. People are going to judge you because you're driving this Escalade. How weird is this, right? We only have gravel roads. Nobody drives a nice car. But I got it, and I told my wife, I said, honey, we're going to get this because we've got to start clothing ourselves in comprehensive excellence, not for show. Some people say, well, you only buy that for show. Well, in their mind, they're a showy person, and to buy that would only be for show. For me, I had enough of this car. I had enough of that car. That's a dangerous car. When I have friends that I go golfing with, I don't want them cramping up with their knees in the back of some piece of crap. I want them to have space. An Escalade's like a lazy boy. You're sitting back in a lazy boy, right? I'll pick kids up to go out and eat. I go to high school, sometimes work with kids, and I'll pick them up for lunch, take them to a gourmet pizza restaurant. We order in advance. I stop by the thing, black, shiny Escalade like a drug dealer, I know. But anyway, come up. These kids are like, starry-eyed, they hop in the luxury caddy, they go eat this gourmet pizza, they come back, and guess what we talk about? We talk about politics, sex, purpose, and just stupid stuff too. But you know what I'm saying? I got the car and they get inspired. Guess who calls me to ask me about what they should do for work? The kids. What should I do for work? Should I take this job or that job? Should I go to this college or that college? Should I date this girl or that girl? It's a great problem in high school. Right? Wealth actually made that happen. Back to the $175 underwear. Anybody interested? Let's go. Okay. $175 underwear, you're like, yeah, right. Well, let me go here. What if I just told you it's comfortable, and I compared it to something that you already know, 600 sheets, and you got a new standard for underwear. So that's just one thing. But what if I told you that a man, talking man world here, I don't know, 95 out of 100 marriages, the men are sexually frustrated. Okay, women, can we go here just for a second? They're just sexually frustrated. You give him crap, and he doesn't deserve it, and he's a jerk, and he's distant, he's not romantic, and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I hear your side. And guy, she's sitting there dealing with the kids, and she's getting pulled on all day, all these ways, and then you come home and you want to, pull on her too, and it's like, oh my gosh. I don't blame either side. You want to know one other trigger in man? Discussion of the sexual nature, which you can do without going pornographic and weird on it. You can go there. As soon as I hit this subject, your attention went up. Anybody notice that? Weird, huh? Try it in your marketing, but you don't have to be weird about it. You do, there's ninja ways to do it. I'm doing it now, actually. If I was selling at the back of this room, I'd be hitting on every single trigger that you had. So the buyer's buzz, the buying is hit. People like to buy things, by the way. Anybody see Jonathan Budd's video when he went with the R8 and got the big TV? Raise your hand if you saw it. Did you know, Jonathan's so damn good he didn't even know that he was tapping into a buyer's buzz feeling of, oh, he's going shopping. The girls loved, oh, he's going shopping. The guys are like, look, he's getting that big TV. Now, there was a story around all that, but subconsciously, what made that such a hit was there was a purchase going on. The second you realize that purchasing is an act of ministry to people, they like buying stuff. The iPhone had an app, I think it was a Gold Star. That was all it did, $1,000. It was getting purchased. Gold Star. No functionality, Gold Star. Gold Star. They took it, they finally canned that app. People were buying the thing. You think this earth is a brass desert and there's no money out there. There's so much money, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Why did the people buy there? So they could tell their rich friends, look at this, I paid $1,000 for this. It's a rich thing. At the country club, the guys that buy that, they sit around. He had the Gold Star, and I had the Gold Star too. So guy here, well, I'm going to get the Gold Star too. Pretty soon, they're the elite people with the Gold Star. Weird, but people pay for that. Social creatures. Pride. Sex didn't motivate them. Pride motivated them. Exclusivity motivated them. Now, somebody could have said, we're doing 50 gold stars and it's going to go towards a certain reputable place in Haiti, a nonprofit village, blah, blah, blah. We're doing 50 gold stars. And people with no money, people that aren't rich, people would buy the gold star to support that. Philanthropic creatures. What if you learned how to tap every one of those triggers? Do you think I understand people? You're almost able to predict behavior. What do you think selling is? It's a prediction of behavior. If I was selling at the back of the room right now, which I'm not, I would be able to predict, I would look at this crowd, and I would pick a 25 to 50% conversion rate based on what I know about human beings, what I know about how to tip the scale. And I could even charge more, and actually, weird thing, the more I charge, the more you want it. Weird. People are value creatures. They value things. Until they pay, they don't pay attention. In my little breakout room, I haven't decided if I'm going to do a $5,000 conference for 2 days with me. I haven't decided. Honestly, I haven't decided. But what do I have to do? I have to tip the scale to make the $5,000 seem like a joke. Have to make it a joke to you. You have to, we're comparative creatures. I would probably say you spent, okay, just randomly, can I pick on you? How much did you pay for your car? $25,000. Okay? And that car, you bought it new? And it's worth what right now? $10,000. Okay? That's cool. I'm not judging the purchase. And how much did that make you, the 20? How much money has the car made you in just hard cash? Not a lot, he said. It hasn't made a lot. So now if we're rational creatures, now I'm going into a rational mind. We pay $25,000 for a car, we drive it around to our friends and family, and we're all proud of the car, we feel like $1 million. I say $5,000 to spend 2 days exclusively with a multimillionaire, and you start backing up. Oh, you're nervous. You just don't know. Is that weird? Just give me a nod if it's just a little weird. Just a little bit weird. Suddenly, in some of your minds, there was a shift of belief just now that, you know what, I could do 5,000. Isn't that weird? And it's because I tinkered with your belief. It's like an earthquake. The plates in the gut of a human have to shift to release money. There's a shift that has to occur. Let's get back to the 175 underwear. Can we go there now? Okay. So I tell you, It's the most comfortable underwear in the world. It's a pleasure situation, right? What if I told you that the 95% of men who are frustrated, what if I promised you and I statistically showed you that apples in the McDonald's cool packaging were voted no contest, double, triple, quadruple, better tasting than the apples that were in a Ziploc bag? What if I promised you, men, that your packaging matters? Gosh. What if I promised you that? Did you know that some men in this city will pay an exorbitant amount to experience something that they don't experience with their wife? Now listen, now follow, this is going somewhere. But maybe $175 can keep your life and the sanity of your life together, and better packaging will lead to that activity, and she might get a little bit more excited. Now, what if I promised you that the clothes you wear are going to affect your esteem and the sense of value that you have? And what if I told you that until your sense of identity shifted, you were never going to drop that 15 to 30 pounds, ever, I promise you. You have a set point with money. You have a set point with your body image. It may vary, but you're a $60,000 a year person. You might go up, you might go down, but you're going to balance it out at 60. If you're 500, you're going to balance it out at 500K. I did a dangerous thing, and I conditioned my mind as a $500,000 earner, and I stuck there for a little bit. Not weird? I wasn't even working. I spent 3 months maybe working 2 to 3 hours a day, 4 days a week. And ask anybody who's done a JV with me my work ethic. It's like, I love to work. I'm a play creature. I'd rather play than work a lot of times. But if I play too much, I get bored because I'm a work creature, and then I work. And I work very hard. I work very focused, and I'm not there to dork around and waste time. Here's my point. So let's get back to the underwear. This whole thing is going to the underwear. I have several sizes in the back of the room. I'm just kidding. Okay. What if I told you that your packaging mattered significantly, even if your wife didn't think it did, even if you didn't believe it, you just tried it and something was changing? And what if I told you the clothes you put on can affect, the exterior can affect the interior, and you can start to shift your image of who you are, and you can slim down based on clothes that you wear? What if I told you if you bought a $500 fitted shirt because you're a rational creature, you weren't going to gain 25 pounds because you didn't want to get another $500 shirt? You were pretty happy with this one. How important? Okay, now let's keep going. What if I told you that the frustration that a typical man carries in that department of his life causes agitation, short temper, lack of clarity in his mind? And guess what? I promise you it does. I promise you. If you are not a fluid creature doing your thing, living all those functionalities that we're made to do at a good pace, you're just going to get disorientated. So what if I told you that wearing these, packaging, this and that and the other thing, all of a sudden, if I told you when there's oxytocin, is that how I say that? Oxytocin? When that's present in the blood, did you know that peace is the dominating environment? When a person has oxytocin in their bloodstream, when it's moving in the physical body, they are generally non-argumentative. They're generally friendly. They're generally functioning at a high level. What if I told you if your brain doesn't get to a place where it learns to function at a high level, you're not going to have the creative bursts that are within your potential, and your wealth you're going to stay stuck at your set points, both weight and both prosperity? What if I told you these things? So what if I told you that the packaging this and that is going to lead to that? You're going to have a flow of oxytocin because you're going to feel better. And what if I told you your business breakthrough? And what if I told you when you're hanging out at an event like this and you say, somehow underwear comes up. Guys, it's weird. Ladies, let me tell you, underwear actually comes up once in a while. Weird, I know. I wear perfect, and a rich guy over here is at the perfect band. That's what these are going to be called. I wear perfect too. And you actually could network because of the exclusivity of the price. Did you know there's Cadillac clubs, there's Porsche clubs? Do you know why some people buy a Porsche? That's where the cool guys are at. The Porsche Club. You think you're selling goods and services and come on, people. You are selling enhancement of life. I have a friend, I smoke cigars every week with college kids. Why? Because guys my age are generally, they've quit. I'm 31. They've just quit. They've settled. They're not that interesting. They don't really read books. These college kids, they're in the game. They're dreaming of the future and all this stuff. So I enjoy cigars with college kids over guys my age 9 out of 10 times. Why do I love coming here? Because I get to enjoy cigars with people of like mind. That's why some of you came here, was just to meet some people. True? We think we're selling content. Come on. We're selling your chance to network. Everybody in the back following me? Okay. Okay. I had a really good point I was just going to make. Powerful. See, when you're not selling something in the back, see, because we're theological creatures, okay, that means goal-minded. We always have a goal. And if right now, do you know what my goal is? My goal is just to impact you. Therefore, the resources that are marshaled up for my goal, they're going all over the place, aren't they? But I'm impacting a lot of you, and you're thinking of things you haven't thought of before. If my goal was to get you to the back of the room, there wouldn't be that pause, because it would be the teleological nature of man. My mind would call forth, the point is the purchase. And I would remind them of the product. Do you see? So what's that say about people that don't have goals? What are they? They're wandering generalities. Thank you, Zig Ziglar. Right? Jimmy was saying, Mark, a bunch of people have asked me, how can I make $20,000 to $30,000 a month when I haven't made the $30,000 a month? And here's another thing, people are moral creatures. You have so much integrity in you that until you realize to redefine what integrity means, you're going to sabotage to protect your integrity. Some of you are not going to recruit a soul into your opportunity because you believe your opportunity is overpriced, and you just think they could get it cheaper somewhere else. And if you believe that, your integrity, even though you want to be wealthy, you want to donate, you want to get rich, you want to do all these things, because you are a moral creature, your integrity, even though you're not aware of it, is going to sabotage all the procedures and all the efforts you make. Isn't this weird? Because if you believe that opportunity, or you believe the leadership is skewy, or you believe that if you bring somebody into your deal, they're going to struggle just like you, and you're too kind to put that on somebody. You're too nice to bring people into the situation that you're in. Here, like before, when I just had a job, I was okay. Now I'm doing this internet marketing, I'm spending all this money, right? Until you believe deep in your moral creature that what you're doing is right, honest, ethical, and good for people, you're going to sabotage yourself. And it's out of integrity, because you can't escape your moral creatureness. You can't run, you can't hide. So the $30,000 is an issue. How can I put $30,000, make $30,000 a month in my opportunity if I haven't made it? Here's another thing about people. We're very ego creatures. You haven't learned to step outside of your opportunity, look at different leaders and go, they made 80,000, she made 1 million, they made 80 million. The opportunity is the same with or without me. My ego is not, your ego is infecting your opportunity sometimes. Isn't this weird? So if people have done it in your opportunity, you can say it. Now, I'm FTC guidelines and all that jazz too. Does that make sense on how you can really give the promise of the opportunity? Now, what if you say, well, most people aren't going to make $30,000. I was a preacher. This is my ending thing. I was a preacher before I was this. So I would get in front of the 400 people, and I'd tell them that if you trust God, your peace will pass all the crap in your life. You're going to have peace and harmony in your life, and if you focus your mind on God. Out of 400 people, how many are going to have that peace? I would say 1 or 2, maybe. My job was, this is the promise, this is the opportunity, and I give it with all my heart, and someone might bite. Someone might take it, and someone might experience it. But I'm not going to rob the promise of this little verse here, because I think these people aren't going to do it. And when you have that opportunity, when you have that feeling about your opportunity, I am not going to degenerate my opportunity because people are lazy. I'm going to say the promise, and the promise is passive, huge income, lifestyle freedom, prosperity, philanthropy, everything. That's the promise of this industry. I'm out of here.
For a free 10-day online recruiting bootcamp to dive deep into rejection-free sponsoring methods using the internet, click the link above or go directly to elitemarketingpro.com/go. I'll see you there.